Right, a very good morning, dear viewer. You're watching Westnile television. It is exactly 19 minutes past 8 a.m. We want to apologize for the delay of coming on this so early, but also it was a technical issue that we couldn't now move on with. And also want to say thank you for watching us and also waiting to see that you see what is coming up in this show. But also you're still watching much as there are a lot of things that we had planned to discuss in this show. We'll take a few moments to share what is happening, highlighting on the issues that are happening in this region. Those who are watching us within Westnile region, want to thank you for really keeping tuned into this television. This is the KOKOLIRIKO live on the 6th of September 2023. Those within and then those outside this country, we thank you for keeping logged into this show. But also want to say we'll continue with the prophecy of preaching development and also peace in this country as Westnile television. We want to thank you for being keeping into tabs within this station. But also I'm not alone in the studios. I have Faris Mazid who has joined me on this show. But maybe Faris, let's welcome you into the show.
Thank you, Fedra. A very good morning to you, and a very good morning to you, viewer, at the same time. You're most welcome to the KOKOLIRIKO live show. I'm Faris Majid, as introduced by Frederick Ramadri.
All right, that is him, and we'll be discussing about certain things, issues that are happening, and also issues that happened yesterday, and what is currently trending in the country. Talk about the issues of terror, threats that are coming up because of the explosions that are being discovered. Talk about the bomb blasts that have not blasted, but they have been got live by our security personnel, especially in the areas of Kampala metropolitan area, and also those other issues that are of public concern and also that need urgent attention. We'll be able to discuss about them. But maybe first of all, Faris, let's talk about this issue, this traversing of the Northwest Nile region by the State Minister for Northern Uganda, who is currently in Madisa region. Talk about the districts of Moyo, Ajuma. Now today should be coming to Yumbe district to look at those development projects in these districts. Maybe how important do you think this move is, and also how do you think this will help address the development gaps in some of these districts that we have in the region?
First of all, first and foremost, I would like to thank her because she is the minister responsible for the entire northern region. And I believe her movement in these places is in line with some of her roles, because she needs to move and traverse the whole region when it comes to issues of development. Remember, there is a lot that is quite happening in the region, which I believe if she has a word on, it will be of great importance. Talking about her movement, she started it, I think, from the Madisa region. I did see her in Germany that time when Moses Ali was launching the book. I did see her around. So I think this is in line with her roles, and I believe it is of great importance because she has a lot to tell the masses there when it comes to the issues of the government. Remember, there's a lot that the government is currently undertaking when it comes to issues of the PDM. I believe she will be able to also tell the masses there when it comes to what they need to do when it comes to the issues of poverty elevation, because this is in line with her movements, and I believe let her be, what currently she is doing is telling the masses of what exactly to do. And I believe this will yield a lot of importance to the masses, because they need sometimes also to listen from the people, from the leaders. You know, when in scenarios where our leaders don't have time to tell the masses and have chance of interacting with the masses, it really becomes quite absurd. But when she's really going back down to the masses, when she's not sitting in the offices, I believe this is so much welcomed, and it is of great importance because she's really kind of the downer person going to these masses, and she's in public, and this is really of great importance because sometimes people understand best from the people that they always respect. And being in that office of responsibility, I believe her word will be taken very much highly by the masses who are there. And I appeal to her to traverse the whole region. Let her not stop in only the other part of the region. Let her move in the entire Westnile and the entire northern Uganda, because at the end of the day, her word will be taken highly of great importance by the masses who are there, because sometimes they may be listening to her from TVs, they may be watching her from TVs and listening to her from radios and then other sources. But now it is time for them to interact with her. So I think this is very much important, and I want to applaud her for this.
Okay, the State Minister, who happens to be also the patron for Northern Uganda Development Forum, started this initiative of moving to all these districts in Northern Uganda from Gulu, where they were able to meet and have that annual meeting in which the forum discussed a lot of issues to do with environmental conservation, the issues to do with tapping the available government opportunities, especially under these different programs. Talk about the PDM, talk about the Mioga, talk about the Operation Wealth Creation, how really farmers and also entrepreneurs should be able to venture into this. But still within that area, last week there was a budget approved to be 1.2 billion that was there to cater for the activities of this forum. And one of the key areas was capacity building for all the entrepreneurs and also the district leaders who represent the people who will be able to come down to train people on how to write proposals and also work on with some of these projects in order to benefit from government. And also, maybe Faris, what do you think are some of the issues that are pressing in most of these districts that you think people should be able to maybe give them to the State Minister to be fronted for government decision?
First of all, the issue of poverty is very much key, and I believe all these people may be fronting this issue here, because, Frederick, if you have to look, this is not an issue that is only happening in not only in Northern Uganda, but it's also happening in some those other regions. But to interest myself in Northern Uganda, this is where I come from. So I think it is of great importance that these people front the issues of poverty. Just now that the government has come in place with the PDM, remember, Frederick, I can tell you in Arua City, PDM has not yet been launched up to now. So I think just like Arua City, the other districts of Northern Uganda have also not been able to also witness the launch of the PDM. And this has been attributed to a number of factors, actually, due to some of the officials are saying it is due to the issues of late registration and challenges in registration, which are really impacting a lot. So I think it goes back to these people to hurry up with the process. Maybe at the end of the day they receive the funds, because poverty is really a great concern when it comes to this region. We are among the poorest regions when it comes to Uganda. So I think these people will have to front the issue of poverty. Now, second, when it comes to the issue of also insecurity. Insecurity is becoming a great concern when it comes to this region. We have had people losing their property. We have had people being robbed during day life. So I think these people also need to front the issues of security. Just like the other day, we had a case of suspected ADF cases registered in these places. So I think these also need to front the issue of security, because it is really becoming a great concern. If not addressed now, it will be able to also maybe result into something else that we will be able to regret of. So I think they also need to front the issue of security, which is really becoming a great concern, because we have had this case. People are complaining of insecurity in this region. So I think it is really important for them to also address the issue of insecurity before the minister, because she will be able to directly link them with the top officials, because it will be hard to give a report to those people who are signed us. So I think it is of great importance that also these people front the issue of security when it comes to her tour. So I think her tour is in line with so many things. Let us wait for the outcome. So I think these people, before they wait for the outcomes, they have the chance now to interact with them, with the leaders also. So I think it is timely that people front the issues that may be really pressing them.
Okay, when you talk about the issues of insecurity, we will talk about the evictions, the illegal evictions that have been taking place in Goboro Parish and some of those parishes in Yume district along South Sudan border with Uganda. That is one of the insecurity concerns this week that has been running throughout. But also, if you talk about some of the unfinished projects under the agriculture cluster development programs, and also talk about the failure by Westnile region, any of the entrepreneurs to benefit from the agricultural credit facility, those are some of the issues that are really pertinent that we think the minister can also pick a leaf from them and really front them to see how we can fast track some of these unfinished projects and also some of these opportunities that our people are missing them. Why are they missing them? What are the challenges? She should be able to understand with the leaders and also maybe design better mechanisms. You may never know. It might be the problem of the people who are supposed to benefit, maybe lack of knowledge or maybe information flow. She'll be able to understand some of this when she sits with people to engage on that. Maybe let's move away from this. There are cases of children, especially the boy child, getting in conflict with the law that is becoming rampant, and we have witnessed in the remand homes that the cases of children getting in contact with the law, actually in conflict with the law, is really increasing so much, and as a result, out of the 101 cases of children that have been remanded in Arua Regional Remand Home, that is in Gilgili, all those are boys. So you wonder what could be happening. And the leading districts include Arua City and Arua districts that have a cumulative number of 48 children who are there, followed by Koboko with 13 cases, followed by Yumbe with 11 cases, so, and many others. The last, maybe the least, but not the last, is Mariokolo and Moyo that have one cases Frederick, respectively. So Faris, what do you think is making these children to really do a lot of those kind of things?
First of all, it goes back to the kind of guidance and mentorship we give these children. Frederick, I can confirm to you that more emphasis has been put on the girl child more than the boy child. We have neglected the boy child, yet all these are children. Frederick, when it comes to, if you look at most of our campaigns actually, and this is both from the government and parental side, most of the parents tend to put more emphasis on the girls than the boys. We tend to neglect the boys. So I think it goes back to the issue of parental guidance, and this is really one issue that is contributing to this. Frederick, just like how you lamented on how most of the remand homes are having more boys than the girl child, that does not mean that the girls are not there. The girls also tend to commit crimes, but most of the crimes are committed by the boys. Frederick, if you are to move in Arua City, trust me, I want to give you a place, I want to spot for you one street that whereby you tend to witness a lot of criminality among the boys. Mm-hmm. If you move to Avenue Road, you know Avenue Road, where this is where most of the commercial banks are. Mm-hmm. And usually there are children who are there just loitering outside the banks. And these children are not there just for jokes. Mm-hmm. They are there for business. And what business? It is theft. And this is criminality. So I think these boys are also being used by some adults. We have had scenarios whereby these young children are used by adults to be aids in undertaking their criminal ventures. So I think it goes back to them to also have a look at that. As parents, we have time with our children. Let's sit down with our children. Let's have times whereby we have time for our children. We tell our children what exactly to do. We have time to punish where a child goes wrong. This punishment not necessarily is to injure or do what, but it is to bring the child in line. We have a saying, spare the child and spare the rod and spoil the child. But this is not something that is quite common today, whereby we are having a case of a child belonging to a parent, and this is not the same case like how it used to be. Those days, it used to be a case by a child was for the whole society. But today, if you can just tell, if you were to punish somebody's child, you just tell how the person will be able to react. You know how the person may be able to react. So I think it goes back to the issue of parental guidance. Mm-hmm. This is whereby we are witnessing a lot of criminality among children today. We have run several of these cases, and the gender office actually has a lot of information when it comes to this issue of children being involved in criminality. Sometimes, as I told you, they are being used as aids by adults. So I think that is still criminality, and we need to strengthen our laws. And these laws, we need to also we need to bring them on board, and we need to have parents directly touch these laws, because a parent who is neglecting the duties of raising a child needs to be brought to book. Because at the end of the day, if this child grows in that criminal manner, he will be able to terrorize not only the parents, but he will now go out and terrorize the whole society. So I think as society, we also have a duty and mandate to see that the children which we are seeing are brought in a manner that is of good character. So I think that goes back to society also to have a look at it, that they have time with the children, not only your child and the parents. Let us not take our children as ours alone, because the child that you're having is for the whole society. He or she can be of great importance to the whole society, not only you as a family. So I think it goes back to parents also to have a look at it, that they have time for their children. They have exactly what to do in terms of raising good children, because if these issues of criminality are not addressed when the child is still young, the child will grow up and will grow up as an adult, but with those bad characters, and will be the people who will be able to terrorize the society and all the country at large. So I think it goes back to society to have a look at it, that the children we're having, we raise them in a manner that is good and that is friendly. So I think that goes back to society, and the responsibility of raising a child, Frederick, I believe is a collective one. So I think all of us have a role in terms of bringing up good children.
Okay, parenting has become like a very difficult thing for all, maybe many of the parents, because of the modern ways of life as of now. As we look at the changing trends of parenting, it affects a lot of people in terms of technology, in terms of the way children nowadays are raised, and also look at the livelihoods that we have as of now. Let's take let's check what stakeholders said in relation to this, and also be able to come back to discuss more about this issue. Stakeholders blame parents for the trend in cases of children coming on the streets with the associated activities in Arua City attributed to poor parenting. On the streets of Arua town, cases of street children engaging in criminal activities continues to ravage, as the boy child is regrettably identified as the biggest culprit. As of 5th July 2023, Arua Regional Remand Home registered a total of 101 children remanded under various offences, with Arua District and Arua City cumulatively recording 48 cases, followed by Yumbe District with 13 cases, Koboko with 11, while the list of the districts in the region include Moyo and Madiokolo that registered 1 case each. On the other hand, no girl was remanded. But the major crimes noted to have been committed by these children include theft, defilement, aggravated robbery, rape, among others. Emily Bako, an assistant probation and welfare officer at Arua Regional Remand Home, explains that many children, especially the boys, have come in conflict with the law, and lack of empowerment for the boy child worsens the situation.
Because many times there are people who think that these are problem children. Some, they are not wanted. So when these children are here with us, we know that these children have potential. Like if we can start skilling them right now, they can become better citizens. Like we have leaders here, we have doctors here. So it is us to join hands to make sure that we skill up these children. Ivan Shukuru, the LC1 chairperson of Upper BBS cell, noted with concern that the criminalities among children is currently overwhelming.
The rate of criminality caused by children in the town, in fact, it is going very high. You go to Lobeda Market, it is high. That is the highest area of criminality. Because, I mean, you know, only for children. They can come and even they can pick these cameras of where they go. This is where the problem, the issue is. The
escalating crimes committed by children has prompted the Arua Central Division to enact a bylaw dubbed the Child Abuse and Exploitation Act 2023 to tackle the various issues of parental responsibility and the welfare of the children, with the support from FIDA Uganda. Fred Ababo, the lawyer and the consultant who presented the contents of the law, reveals that once the bylaw is just blessed by Arua City Council, it will help to curtail cases of street children roaming in the city center.
So now, there is legally you cannot charge these children. So the best you can only do is to charge their parent, you get it, or their guardian. Now, how do you reach their guardian? You reach them through Section 7, which gives them powers to look after their children. So meaning, if they are to look after their children and they're releasing these children to go and they do these businesses that exposes them to exploitation, now you need to punish them. You get the point. By punishing them, you are now putting them responsibility to take these children back home.
The major areas donned with criminalities in Arua City have been identified as P7, Gaga Club, Hawker Lane, among others. Frederick Tamadri, Westnile TV, Nilecast. You have seen and you have been able to hear what stakeholders were able to react in relation to that issue of children roaming on the streets, children really being the biggest allies of crimes committed by most of the big persons who hide under them. So these are the things that we want us to discuss about. What do you see in your communities? What do you think is happening around you? And how do you care about your children? Those are some of the things we want you to be able to share your comments on the YouTube channels that we have. We'll be able to relay them live here for other people to learn from. How do you care about your children? How do you ensure parenting at this moment? Because many people leave their homes very early, they reach home very late. So how do you interact with your children? How do you relate with them? How do you make sure that they behave in a guided manner so that, their activities do not impact negatively, but they are tailored towards developing the nation? Those are the things we want to really hear from you and also discuss here on this show. Maybe Faris, what do you make of the comments that people have made in relation to these cases?
First of all, the issue of holding parents accountable, just like one of the stakeholders did put out there, is one issue that I believe we need to start embarking on. Because a parent who doesn't, Frederick, we're having a case whereby some people think to produce a child is enough, but upbringing the child, they tend to leave it out. So I think it goes back to that issue. We need to start having the parents accountable. We need to arrest them. We need to bring them on board when issues of children are concerned. With Frederick, we are having parents in this region who stop at producing but not raising the child. So at the end of the day, a child grows with that kind of life. First of all, what am I saying? Why am I saying this? We have cases where a parent produces a child, but to raise the child is left in the entire hands of the women alone. This is where a challenge is coming. So at the end of the day, a child grows, has to survive. And sometimes you know how food is not enough for the children. The children lack the basic necessities. So at the end of the day, a child grows up without these things and is influenced to join the criminality of these areas. So I think we as parents need to start embarking on that issue and let the government also start bringing the parents on board, holding them accountable. This is, I think, one issue that whereby we are going to be witnessing these issues of parents at times undermining their duties as parents. So I think it goes back to them. We should not only stop at producing. There's still a lot of things that we need to do in terms of making the children that we produce good people. So I think it goes back to policymakers to have a look at it, that they bring the parents who stop at producing to book. Let them also take the mandate of raising their children as good citizens. So I think that is one issue that we need to embark on. And to the children, let us also listen to what the parents are saying, and to society at large. I want to put it this way. Raising a child is a collective responsibility. It is a responsibility that does not lie only in one person's hands. So I think society also has a role to play when it comes to the issue of raising a good child. So I think society needs to do its course in terms of guiding the children. So at the end of the day, we shall be able to see the children that we are raising are good citizens.
Okay, so as a child or as children, the future lies on your hands. So if we cannot listen to our elders, if we cannot listen to our parents, it's quite unfortunate, and that means your life as a child will not be that better one. You should be able to have those friends who are able to lead you to where you think you'll be best. And also, as a child, you don't need to have all the decisions by yourself. You have your parents, you have a guidance, and then your colleagues who are also in the schools. You need to cope up with that mentality, other than really looking at these other people who look at petty businesses that are run here. For you to come, maybe to appear on a television like this, you need to join better groups for you to be really seen as a better person. Maybe we wind up with that discussion there. Let's move to the National Unity Platform that the party president is being prepared to come to Westnile region, especially here in Arua City, that Arua City will be hosting him on the 13th of this month. Maybe Faris, you attended the press briefing. What were the issues that were really key in this, and is it a sure deal that he's coming, and what is the message that he's bringing to the people of Westnile region?
All is set, all looks to be set already, because the group has already had meetings with the security officials, and the venue where His Excellency Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, also known as Bobi Wine, will be talking has already been identified, and this will be at Arua Primary School grounds, and this is in line with the electoral reforms. He has been traversing the whole of Western Uganda. I think yesterday he was in Busia after a day of retreat. So I think he will be here on 13th of September. And remember, 13th is one day that is phenomenal when it comes to...
Is it a confirmed date?
Yes,
because you're saying you're thinking and
no,
so on.
It is confirmed. It is confirmed that it will be here on 13th of September. And just like I said, 13th is one of the days that will be very much remembered when it comes to Arua City. Remember the tragic incident where the driver was shot. Only the month is where the change is. But I think when it comes to the date, it is one date that is postponed because it is of history, because they believe National Unity Platform started from here. This is for them how they believe. They believe that National Unity Platform started from here. That is why they selected that day. And this will be next week. He will be here in Arua with an entourage of other party leaders and the supporters from the various places. And he will be addressing the whole of Westnile region. And this will be here at Arua Primary School grounds. So I think they are already organized. All looks to be set already when it comes to organization, and the leader will be here to address his supporters. And this will be the first time, by the way, that the party president, Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, will be addressing the masses in the post-election period. Remember, after elections, they were not allowed to move, and now that the Electoral Commission has granted them permission, this is in line with the electoral reforms. This is also a chance for them to interact with the masses and also have preparations that will be able to use when it comes to 2026, because they have to start organizing right now. This is in line with all the political parties. All the political parties are actually doing this, and we have had just recently, I think,
FDC was here. And
FDC was here for the swearing in of its party leaders. Now they're organizing, I think, for the national executive elections. So I think that is all in line with with the electoral reforms when it comes to the issues of preparations for 2026. So I think all the parties are organizing when it comes to the issues of electoral reforms, and this is one of the mandates Electoral Commission has given them. It is within the law. So I think all the people are going to be here. But one issue that these people raised during the press briefing is the issue of vigilance. They call for vigilance because this issue, if you will be able to attend this rally where the party president for National Unity Platform will be coming, you will be able to first of all be secure, vigilant of the security around you, because the security starts with you, Frederick. I can tell you this. We're having cases of insecurity that are on the rise when it comes to terror attacks. Recently we have had a case whereby a flask that was suspected to be having an explosive was discovered in one of the churches in Kampala. So I think it is also very much important that we tell the masses that when they are coming for this event, let them be vigilant, because some people may be also coming to this event with other intentions. That is why they were also National Unity Platform organizers for this event also came out clearly to warn those who may be having those ill intentions of wanting to disrupt the event. So I think they also ushered this warning to them that they will be able to deal with them, because they are already working with security officials, the police, then the UPDF, they're already working with these security agencies to see that this event runs successfully. And
okay, maybe we will leave that politics there. Let's move to the security threats that I told you about, the issues of bomb suspected explosions that have been got, and also there are a number of threats locally here. We are seeing soldiers from South Sudan crossing to Uganda, especially in the Moyo district. That has been really something threatening the people. And now one of the trending stories is about the issue of the discovery of bombs and explosives that is here in Uganda. Maybe Faris, what do you make of this, and what can people really do in relation to curtailing some of these issues, but before also some of these explosives explode? If
you are to remember the 2010 World Cup bombings that we had in this country, so I think it goes back to the issues of still vigilance, and this is to the people who go to these public places, because these people who have the bombs target these places that accommodate a lot of people. Talking about these places that accommodate a number of people, we have the stadiums, we have the football watching halls, we have the malls, we have the supermarkets. So I think let us be vigilant, and even the schools are at risk. So I think it goes back to them to be vigilant. If you are suspecting something that is supposed to be that may be carrying an explosive, rush the nearest security officials to report this issue, because people may, and if you are not sure of somebody carrying bags in these places, because some of these people may be carrying the bags, they may be carrying these things in the bags. Frederick, I can tell you the issues of bombings are not new to this country. We have had cases whereby these issues of bombings have always been reported in Uganda. So recently we remember we had the Komamboga bombing cases. So I think it really goes back to us as the masses to be vigilant of what is happening around us. And if we suspect somebody to be carrying these explosives, let us rush to the nearest police and post, because the issue of insecurity starts with you, because you have to be secure of the environment around you. It starts with you, because if you are not sure of what is around you, and these people who go to these places, if we start receiving certain threats, we have seen them yielding. They at times just start with threats, but at the end of the day react. So I think security needs to intensify the investigations and the operations when it comes to the issue of the bombing or terror blast attacks. So I think that is where the issue of security needs to come up on board to address this issue before it really results into people losing property and lives. At the end of the day, we shall be able to also cry as a country. So I think we need to embark on this issue of vigilance. It starts with you, to these people go to these happening places. Talking about the happening places, we have these places that accommodate a number of people, like the stadiums, just like I did mention, the stadiums, the schools, the churches, the mosques. All these are at risk, because these are places that accumulate a number of people, and this is the target of these people who may be having the ill intentions of terrorizing the country. So I think we need to embark on the issue of vigilance. It starts with you, and not with me, but we should not leave this issue to security officials alone. We can actually play a part in averting some of these challenges.
Okay, if you look at Uganda, generally Uganda is a landlocked country surrounded by so many other countries, but also looking at the porosity of the border that we have with our neighbors, there's high hope that if we team up with other countries in order to fight some of this, it is very, very important. But also expediting on vigilance among the community members is very paramount. The happening places that you said, we need to start closing them early, just like the way we used to do for COVID. That is very, very important. If we do all this, we'll be able to help our country to remain peaceful for quite a long time. This is where we come to the end of the Wednesday edition of the KOKOLIRIKO show. We'll be answering in the news in Liberty shortly after this with Feta Emmanuel. Thank you.